But then the question arises here that what is the standard of this Q index? That is, how much pollution is normal and how much is dangerous? According to the World Health Organization, if the AQI of any city is below 100, then the air quality of that city is good. Between 100 to 200, it is moderate. Between 200 to 300, it is unhealthy for sensitive groups like children, pregnant women, and the elderly. And if the QI is 300 and above, then it is highly dangerous. But now the question arises here that according to this standard, how many cities of India are safe? To find this out, we got the data of all the cities of India from the government portal itself. So we took the data of almost all the major cities of India and calculated their average AQI. As you can see from this table, only the cities of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Manipur have an AQI less than 100, which means that only these cities have good air quality. That is, if you live in any other city of the country, then you breathe in bad air every day. You may or may not feel it, but the truth is that every day you are taking in the risk of premature death. However, this is just an average data. Some days it can go below 100, and some days it can cross 500. For example, look at the data of Delhi. On October 2022, its AQ was recorded below 100 for the whole month, but suddenly in November, it crossed 400 and remained around 500 for almost 10 days. Then it came down and remained below 100 till December. But again, in January 2023, it started to rise and it crossed 500 in February. At present, it is showing around 300. The same is the condition of Mumbai. See in September 2022. The average AQ of Mumbai was recorded at 66, which was pretty good. But since October, it has been on a decline. In November, it was 224, and suddenly in December, it jumped to 429. Then it descended, and in February, it is recording an AQI of 297. And all these data are of the official website of the Government of India. The point is that if you think that you are safe in your village, far from the hustle and bustle of the city, then it is not true, because the pollution in big cities does not come from within the city, but from outside the city. For example, if you take the data of Jodhpur, Rajasthan, it has consistently been recording an AQI of around 300 for almost 4 months. And the reason for this is not the industries or vehicles of Jodhpur, but the agricultural fields of Punjab and Haryana around it, which have been burning crop residue since November 2022, due to which the toxic smoke is spreading across Rajasthan. Even the cities of rural areas like Bikaner, Jaisalmer, and Barmer are not spared from this. The same is the condition of Haryana. The air quality of Haryana is not bad because of its own cities, but because of the fires that are constantly raging in its neighbouring states. That is, the villages and small towns of Haryana are also not safe from this deadly air. But then the question arises here, that why is this happening? Why is the air quality of our country getting worse day by day? In fact, there are 4 main reasons behind this. First, the industries of the country. Second, the vehicle exhaust. Third, construction work. And fourth, household heating systems like coal, chulha, etc. Among these, the biggest contribution is of industries. You will be surprised to know that India has more than 8 lakh industries, out of which only 42,000 are registered. And 8 lakh industries are unregistered and unmonitored industries, which are located mostly in residential areas and are releasing poisonous gases in the air, soil, and water of the locality itself. These industries are causing soil erosion and water pollution in the name of development and progress. Not only that, these illegal industries are polluting our air to such an extent that in terms of sulfur dioxide, India has the highest rate of pollution in the world. Not only this, the cities of India record the highest nitrogen dioxide levels in the world. The point is that 8 lakh industries are not only responsible for the worst air quality of the country, but are also the reason why India has the highest cancer rate in the world among men and the 3rd highest in women. In fact, the mortality rate of cancer in India is around 78 per 100,000 population, which is very high compared to the developed countries. The second biggest reason for this is vehicle exhaust. At present, there are more than 3 crore registered vehicles in India, out of which 2 crore are in rural areas. At present, there are more than 3 crore registered vehicles in India, out of which 2 crore are in rural areas. And you know what? There is not a single public transport system in the country which meets the international standards. Take buses, for example. They emit 6 times more pollution than they should. And in the case of trucks, it is 25 times more. The situation is even worse in Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata here. The situation of taxis and auto rickshaws is terrible. They emit 23 and 20 times more pollution than the prescribed limit. The point is that all these vehicles are not only increasing the pollution level of the country, but are also making India the 2nd most affected country from asthma in the world. Apart from this, these pollutants are also affecting our nervous system and brain functions. That is, it is not only a threat to our lives, but also to our intelligence and memory. In fact, researchers from Harvard University have found that exposure to extreme levels of pollution during pregnancy reduces the child's IQ by 7 points. And if the mother is exposed to severe air pollution during pregnancy, then the child's IQ drops by 12 points. It is estimated that more than 25% of India's population currently lives in highly polluted cities. In such a situation, if we talk about the current scenario, then in the coming years, there may be a big shortage of human resources in India. Because of this, a few decades ago, China became so afraid that it made a law under which whoever sold or bought an ultra-polluting vehicle would have to pay a heavy fine of $5,000 to $20,000 for it. But despite all this, today, China has more than 65 million vehicles on the road, which are not only increasing China's pollution, but also polluting the neighboring countries. For example, Nepal, Mongolia, and North Korea, that is. We all know that today, pollution has become a global problem. But still, if we want to know the future of our country, then we will have to control the level of pollution right now. We will have to find ways to reduce it. So let's see how we can reduce it. For this, we will have to change the way we live our lives. Like stop buying unnecessary things, because more than 40% of the goods produced in the world are dumped after some time. If we stop doing this, then the production of these items will also decrease, which will reduce the pollution from factories. Second, try to adopt public transport as much as possible, because most of the pollution in cities is from vehicles. If we make efforts to reduce it, then the air quality of the cities will improve. Third, check your surroundings. See if there is any industry near your house, which is polluting the air, water, and soil of your locality. Then complain about it immediately. Fourth, spread awareness. Talk to people in your locality, in your society, in your colony, in your village, about the ill effects of pollution. Tell them how they can protect themselves. Also, try to follow all these tips yourself, so that others can also get inspired by you. So friends, see, air pollution is a serious issue today, and it is a global threat. We all need to raise our voice against it. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching it.